Suppose a particle is moving in the xy plane, its instantaneous position can be represented by a vector. Now, if you draw a line on x and y axis from the instantaneous position of the particle, then you will find that there is a corresponding displacement along x and y axis. And we want to find these components of the position vector along x and y direction. And this can be done using the method resolution of vectors. Resolution of a vector is the process of splitting a vector into two or more vectors in such a way that their combined effect is same as that of the given vector. The vectors into which the given vector is splitted are called component vectors. A component of a vector in any given direction gives a measure of the effect of the given vector in that direction. A vector can have any number of component vectors, that is, a vector can be resolved into infinite number of components. But when a vector is splitted into two or three component vectors at right angles to each other, the component vectors are called rectangular components of a vector. So let us first discuss the resolution of a vector into two rectangular components. Let the vector r is drawn from a point O in the xy plane and it is represented by OA. The vector r makes an angle theta with the x-axis. As this is an orthogonal coordinate system, so it makes an angle theta minus 90 degree with the y-axis. Now two perpendiculars AB and AC are drawn from point A on the x and y axis respectively. The length OB is the projection of the vector r on the x-axis. Similarly, OC is the projection of the vector r on the y-axis, and they are represented by Rx and Ry. That is, Rx and Ry are the magnitudes of the vector r along x and y axis respectively. Now in the triangle OAB, OB is the base, AB is the height, and OA is the hypotenuse of the triangle. Therefore, from the definition of cosine of the angle theta, we can write cos theta is equals to OB over OA, or base over hypotenuse, which is equals to Rx over R. Therefore, we can write Rx is equals to R cos theta. Similarly, from the definition of the angle sine of the angle theta, we can write sin theta is equals to AB over OA, that is height over hypotenuse, which is equals to Ry over R, or Ry is equals to R sin theta. So these are the two components of the vector r along x and y direction. Or you can say we have just resolved the vector r into two parts along x axis and the other along y axis. Now if we apply the triangle law of vector addition in this triangle, then we can write OA is equals to OB plus OC. Now if I cap and j cap denotes the unit vectors along x and y direction, then we can write vector r equals to Rx I cap plus Ry j cap. Now if we put the expressions for the Rx and Ry, then we can write vector r is equals to R cos theta I cap plus R sin theta j cap, and the magnitude of r can be written as r is equals to square root of Rx squared plus Ry squared, and the angle theta that the vector r makes with x-axis is given by theta is equals to tan inverse Ry over Rx. Now notice that here we consider that the vector r makes the angle theta with the x-axis, and we got the magnitudes of the two components of this vector Rx and Ry as Rx equals to R cos theta and Ry equal to R sin theta. But if the vector r makes this angle with the y-axis, then Rx will be R sin theta and Ry will be R cos theta. Or you can say the axis with which the vector r makes the angle theta is the cos theta component. So in the first case, r makes the angle theta with the x-axis, that's why the Rx is equal to R cos theta. But in the second case, r makes the angle theta with the y-axis, that's why in this case Ry is equals to R cos theta and Rx equals to R sin theta. This is a simple trick to remember these relations. Now let us discuss resolution of a vector into arbitrary components. let R be any vector drawn from point O and is represented by OC, and let it makes an angle alpha with OA and the angle beta with OB. Now draw a line CD parallel to BO on the line OA and a line CE parallel to AO on the axis OB. The length OD is the projection of the vector R on the axis OA and OE is the projection of the vector R on the axis OB. Now let us define two vectors P and Q with the sides OD and OE. That is, OD represents the vector P and OE represents the vector Q. Now in the triangle ODC, angle COD is equals to alpha and angle OCD is equals to beta. Now as we know, sum of all three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Therefore, we can say the angle ODC is equals to 180 degree minus alpha plus beta. Now if we apply law of sine, then we can write OD over sine beta is equals to DC over sine alpha, which is equals to OC over sine 180 degree minus alpha plus beta. Now sine 180 degree minus theta is equals to sine theta. Therefore, we can write this is equals to OC over sine alpha plus beta, or this can be written as P over sine beta equals to Q over sine alpha equals to R over sine alpha plus beta. And from this relation, we can determine the components P and Q along the axis OA and OB. Therefore, from this relation, we can write P is equals to R sine beta over sine alpha plus beta and Q is equals to R sine alpha over sine alpha plus beta. So these are the resolved components of the vector R along OA and OB. Now let us solve a problem. So the question is, find the resultant of system of forces acting at point O as shown in the below figure. So in this figure, four forces of magnitudes 1 Newton, 1 Newton, √3 Newton and 3 Newton are acting at point O, and we need to find the resultant force acting at point O. And it is given that the first 1 Newton force indicated by the red arrow is making an angle 30 degree with positive x-axis. Another 1 Newton is parallel to y-axis. The force √3 Newton is making an angle 60 degree with the negative x-axis, and the fourth force 3 Newton is parallel to negative y-axis. To solve this type of problem, first find the angles each forces makes with the positive x-axis. So first let us denote the forces by F1, F2, F3 and F4. That is, F1 is equals to 1 Newton, F2 is equals to another 1 Newton, F3 is equals to √3 Newton and F4 is equals to 3 Newton. Now the force F1 makes an angle 30 degree with the positive x-axis. Now F2 is parallel to y-axis, therefore it makes an angle 90 degree with the positive x-axis. F3 is making an angle 60 degree with the negative x-axis, therefore with positive x-axis it would be 120 degree, and F4 is making an angle 270 degree with the positive x-axis as it is parallel to negative y-axis. Now we have to sum over all x components of the individual forces to find the net x component of the resultant force. Fx equals to sum over I Fi cos theta I. Here I runs from the number of forces. So according to the questions, there are only 4 forces acting at point O. Therefore, I runs from 1 to 4. Now, if you expand this summation, then you can write F1 cos theta 1 plus F2 cos theta 2 plus F3 cos theta 3 plus F4 cos theta 4. Now, just put the magnitudes of each forces and the values of theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and theta 4. Then we can write this is equals to 1 times cos 30 degree plus 1 times cos 90 degree plus √3 times cos 120 degree plus 3 times cos 270 degree. Now the value of cos 30 degree is √3 over 2, cos 90 is equals to 0, cos 120 degree is equals to minus half and cos 270 degree is equals to again 0. Therefore, we can write this is equals to root 3 over 2 plus 0 plus root 3 times minus half plus 3 times 0, or this is equals to root 3 over 2 minus root 3 over 2, which is equals to 0. Therefore, the next x component of all these forces is equals to 0. Now, we have to find the same thing for the y component, that is, we need to find the net y component of these forces, and it is given by Fy is equals to sum over I Fi sin theta I. Again, I runs from 1 to 4 as there are only 4 forces, and this can be written as F1 sin theta 1, F2 sin theta 2, F3 sin theta 3 plus F4 sin theta 4. Now, if you put all the magnitudes of F1, F2, F3, F4 and the values for the then you can write 1 times sin 30 degree plus 1 times sin 90 degree plus root 3 times sin 120 degree plus 3 times sin 270 degree, or this is equals to half plus 1 plus root 3 times root 3 over 2 plus 3 times minus 1, or this is equals to half plus 1 plus 3 over 2 minus 3, and again this is equals to 0. That is, both the net x component and net y component of these 4 forces F1, F2, F3 and F4 is 0. And now to find the total force acting on the particle or at point O, we can use this formula F equals to square root of Fxx square plus Fy squared, and as Fx and Fy is 0, therefore the total force acting at point O is 0, or you can say the particle at point O is in equilibrium. So that's it for now. In the next video, we will learn about multiplication rules for vectors.